Hi, welcome to Pyrography Made Easy. I'm Brenda. Today, we're going to find out if you should clean your artwork before you seal it. I was told that if you use a brush-on type of finish, which is what I do, you need to clean the artwork with denatured alcohol first to remove any loose carbon. This is to prevent the carbon from smearing around the artwork when the first layer of brushed-on finish is applied. I had never heard of denatured alcohol, but Todd had some in the shop, so let's test this out. Creating a test board. First, I started by creating a test board. The top row I plan to clean, and the bottom row will be left alone for comparison. My board has burn patches that were created at different temperatures, and the far right one was created with a torch, the rest with a wood burner. What is interesting is the texture difference between the torch and the wood burn patches. The torch produces a flat, dull appearance. It reminds me of charcoal. But the pen tips seal the wood, making it shiny in appearance. Carbon check. I am wiping a clean Q-tip or cotton tip over each of the patches in the top row. I'm checking to see if the Q-tip will pick up any carbon. Only the torch patch produced enough carbon for the Q-tip to pick it up. Denatured alcohol. I have to warn you, denatured alcohol is toxic. The fumes are toxic, and so is the liquid. Make sure to take safety precautions. I wore gloves, a mask, and goggles when I used this. Plus, I opened a window to make sure I had good ventilation. Cleaning with denatured alcohol. I'm dipping a clean Q-tip into the container of denatured alcohol. I rub the saturated Q-tip over the first patch on the left to check to see if the Q-tip removed any carbon. It did, but not very much. I repeated the process with the adjacent patch. Again, I used a clean Q-tip for this. I went through a lot of Q-tips for this video. The next patch was burned at a high heat, so it had some carbon on the Q-tip. I made an assumption that you should continue to rub over the area until no more carbon came up. What happened is that I made a mess. The carbon got smeared onto the unburned area of the board. To try and fix this, I got a fresh Q-tip, dipped it in the alcohol, and rubbed over the patch again. I don't think that helped. But as you can see, the second Q-tip has a fair amount of carbon on it. With the last patch, I was expecting a lot of carbon to be removed, and I was right. The Q-tip is black. Like I did with the last patch, I kept rubbing a clean Q-tip over it, and the Q-tip kept coming away black. The carbon got smeared onto the unburned portions of the wood. I used several fresh, clean, alcohol-soaked Q-tips trying to remove the carbon. I think the only thing it did was smear it around even more and embed it into the wood. I don't recommend using denatured alcohol. Alternate cleaning method. I created a new torched burn patch to show you how I clean off the carbon. I simply use a clean paper towel and rub over the area. After wiping, I fold the paper towel so I'm always wiping with a clean section of it. I do this a number of times. Once the paper towel comes away mostly clean, I use a standard pencil eraser and rub over the area. This will remove any carbon that got smeared onto the unburned portion of the wood. Now I did try erasing over the denatured alcohol cleaned section to see if it would do the same, but I was only partially successful with that attempt. Applying finish. I am using an easy-to-apply finish by Minwax. This is not a finish I recommend for pyrography. This container was sitting on the workbench in Todd's shop, so I borrowed it. I am dipping a clean Q-tip into the finish and applying it over the patch. I am extending the finish beyond the edges of the patch to see if any carbon gets smeared into the finish. The patches that were cleaned did not smear. The only patch on the uncleaned row, the bottom row that smeared, was the one created with the torch. The results. Unless you have burn results that are dull and look like charcoal, the board does not need to be cleaned. Generally speaking, if you're using a torch, you need to clean over that area. Well, after testing out the denatured alcohol, I don't recommend it. A dry cloth or a paper towel works better, and you don't have to worry about any toxic fumes. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.